Hi, I'm Sarah Milstein, and on February 6th, I'm going to present a new webcast from O'Reilly, Advanced Twitter for Business. Now, we're assuming that you've tried Twitter and that you've discovered that for businesses, it can be a little bit hard to unravel and figure out the best ways to use it. So in this webcast, we'll cover the big picture. We'll talk about the role Twitter can play in your social media strategy, the goals of your Twitter account, who from your company can best do the Twittering. And then we'll also talk about some tactics that you can use, how to listen better, what to post and how often, useful third-party tools, and things like that. Now, we don't have time today to talk about the big picture stuff, but I wanted to give you a little taste of some of the tips that we'll be able to share. So, for example, how to help people find you. This can be really important on Twitter, and it can be a little bit tricky. This is the Bank of America help account, and I don't want to pick on B of A. I think they're really working hard with this account to try to help customers, but they've run into a little trouble. Let me show you how. As you can see, the name of the account is B of A Help. Over in the bio field, they explain that this is the official B of A Twitter rep, and his name is in the name field, David Knapp. Now, none of these places do the words Bank of America appear. You can see that they've got their logo, Bank of America, which is an image file, but nowhere in the text do the words Bank of America appear. So what happens when you go to search for Bank of America? Well, if you search on Twitter for Bank of America, you'll see that you wind up getting this inactive Bank of America account. It's not what you're looking for. If you search for B of A on Twitter, you get these two inactive B of A accounts. If you search for David Knapp, you get the official B of A help account, but you have to know how to search for David Knapp, and most people aren't going to know beforehand that he's the Twitter rep. Now, same problem on Google. If you search for Bank of America on Twitter, that account appears in the first page of results, but it's below the fold. It's like the 7th or 8th result. It's not that helpful. What happens when you do it right? Well, this is one of Kodak's accounts, and as you can see, it's called Kodak CB, which is a little bit cryptic. But here's how they make it work. The bio explains that the person who's doing the Twittering is Jennifer Sisney, and that she's Kodak's chief blogger, and this is a really nice little bio about her. The name field explains that she's Kodak's chief blogger. What happens when you go to search for Kodak? Well, on Twitter, she's the first account. If you search on Google, she's the first account. Let's just look closely at what she did right that made this work. In the name field, she's got the name of her company, not her name. In the bio field, she's got her name. And that bio field gives you 160 characters, so it's a great place to do a little description, and she does a really nice job here. Now, while we're on it, when you're looking at those settings, there's a field to put in a website, and you should do that, and it should be, for a company, a link to an official site of yours that lets people know this is a real account. You can't see it here, but this is a link to her site within a Kodak domain. So it looks like it's official and it works. Now, that's one of the ways you can help people find you on Twitter. What if you're searching on Twitter? Well, Monitor is a good site for doing a little recon on Twitter. This is what it looks like. And I'm going to use the example of Wasabi, which is an online personal finance site. It's a terrific site, and they use Twitter a lot. And here's a few things they might want to search for and how Monitor would help them find it. So let's say they just wanted to search for Wasabi to see who on Twitter is talking about Wasabi. If you type in Wasabi into Monitor, you get just a live scroll of people talking about Wasabi right now. Now, Wasabi might also want to see what banks are saying, not about Wasabi, but just how are banks using Twitter. Wasabi is very interested in the behavior of banks. That's what they track in part. And they can do a search for from Bank of America. Anything that Bank of America helps says, Wasabi can keep an eye on. Now, Wasabi might want to also know whose banks are great, which banks people really like. By searching for a phrase and putting quotes around it, Monitor helps you keep track of things like that. Now, one other cool feature of Monitor is that it lets you search for messages that are posted within a certain physical range. And if you're a local business, that can be particularly handy for seeing if there are people in your area and figuring out good ways to connect with them. So those are a couple of the tools, the kinds of things that we'll look at. The webcast will have its plenty of real-world examples as well as talking about some of the big picture issues. We'll have lots of time for Q&A, so bring your questions. If you have questions beforehand and you want to contact me, these are the ways to reach me on Twitter and on email, and I encourage you to get in touch anytime. The webcast itself will be on Friday, February 6th at 10 a.m. Pacific, and here's the URL. We hope to see you then.